Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Black Wall Podcast. This is your humble, gracious host, Stephen Lee, with another transmission of our lovely community circle of sharing that we call the Black Wall. And as you guys are very familiar with, you guys are part of the Black Wall family. And I want to first of all, start off by thanking everybody again, and I won't stop thanking everybody for supporting and putting bricks and building and bolstering this Black Wall and this movement that we've started. It's been such a great, organic, humbling experience, as I always say, because I want to keep that in the forefront of my own mind, that this is about the whole movement and the family. It's not about one person or one brick. If you try to extract any one brick out the wall, we're nowhere. So from the first time listener to the person that's been listening from the first episode, I appreciate you just the same. And what I have been noticing as we've been going through this journey together as a family is that the financial investment space and ecosystem that we currently reside in is one that is lacking some in-depth information, the way I see it, as my personal opinion. So what I want to do is fill that void and make sure that we continue to bring objective, raw, and real content, conversations, and overall mindset to the space, right? So I want to get in depth and talk about our vision as far as a company, Black Wall Media, the podcast, Black Wall Podcast, as well as myself as an investor, venture capitalist, and entrepreneur, as well as the steps that I feel like we don't highlight enough in this whole process. I feel that sometimes we really almost skip over it because it's the hard part. Do you know what I'm saying? And the hard part a lot of times isn't the easily sold part, the sellable part, right? But that's not what we're here for. We're actually here to make money, right? So we can't expect to make money and expect to be taken seriously on legacy building and wealth building if we're essentially trying to run high-level scams or short-sighted financial plans and vision, right? Like, we can't do that. That's just irresponsible, and it's not what we're about as a Black Wall family and long-term wealth builders. So I want to talk about some of the things that I've noticed, that I've come across in the space that I think are great tools to maybe start and definitely have validity and a place in anyone's portfolio or investment strategy, right? And those things I want to talk about are credit, crypto, and what to do with short-term investments, right? Like, how does that play into this whole thing of real estate and buy and hold investing and long-term legacy building, right? So when it comes to some of the stuff that I've noticed in the space, there's a lot of like, how do we do it quick, right? There's like this whole mindset that there's like this hack that someone is like, got this 1, 2, 3, 5-step maybe. They get on their social media, they point up like this, they give you that face like, duh, you didn't know. And then all of a sudden now you got $50,000, right? Like, get 3 credit cards, whatever little way they do it. Trade crypto. I got the software, it's guaranteed. I've seen all types of shit in my DMs, right? So if I see it in my DMs and people are trying to sell it to me, I can only imagine what you're seeing. And it bothers me because it's not about the ego of it, right? It's not about, oh, my way is better than your way, or we need to do it this way. It's about facts, history, sustainability, and what are we really trying to do, right? So what I figured out is that I want to reel it all the way back, and I want to take it back to something we all can relate to. Back in the day, when I mean back in the day, I'm talking about my grandparents' time, which is like the 20s, right? 1920s, which is 100 years ago. They were living in a time where credit for black and brown people just didn't exist on the mainstream level, right? Now, we had our own banks, we had our own systems of credit that were more neighborhood and community based, but we weren't reliant and were not even able to tap into the larger credit market and financial structure of the country, right? We were not allowed to get mortgages. We were not allowed to do any of those things up into the very recent history. And I'm talking within the past 50 years, right? So therefore, if we know that to be true, right, then we have to understand that we're in a position where we've done this before. Okay? We've done it before. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. What we need to do is trust the bricks and the black print that's already been laid out for us. So I want to talk about something that's extremely important to financial history in this country for black and brown investors. I'm sure a lot of us have heard, not all of us, but a lot of us have heard about Black Wall Street and the massacre that happened in that. That right there is a prime example of black people building a ground up infrastructure financially, a whole financial market and marketplace that was able to be tapped in by all types of black and brown investors all across the country. That right there was a prime example of us being able to create a complete market and structure outside of the mainstream. When that happened, essentially jealousy kicked in. The other people that were not down with the black and brown investment movement wind up destroying it. I'll let you do your own research. I'm not here for that. That's not what this podcast is about. But this podcast is about giving you the breadcrumbs, if you will, to go ahead and do your own research and find out our history and why falling into certain things like credit and thinking about things in a short-term manner for us as black and brown people is extremely, extremely dangerous, right? This isn't my opinion. This is fact. This is history. So then let's move forward. Now, what I've also noticed is that there's this whole idea of I can get you money. I can get you money. I can get you money, right? I've noticed, especially living in Atlanta, everyone starts the conversation with how much money they can get you, right? When you're talking about investing, talking about doing a business, they always start just like this. Okay, go get your LLC. It doesn't matter your idea. And then I'll go get you funding. If you don't have good credit, you got a family member that's good credit, put them on your LLC. I'll get you 100,000. I'll get you 50,000. Okay. But what I want to talk about is the harsh reality of this. The harsh reality of this is that credit is financial steroids. It just is. It's not about what I want. It's not about what I personally think. It's the facts, right? Credit is something that's supposed to be used effectively to grow your business, right? That's the whole purpose. It's not meant to have a bunch of money to just do whatever and ball for a season or two, right? It's about using that for something that's already an established, proven plan that you have, right? So like Miss Patrice says, even if you're cutting grass and you're in a lawn mowing business, don't go get 50,000 if you haven't cut 5 lawns. That doesn't make sense. Like you and I both know you don't need all that money to operate your business. But what you're going to wind up doing is taking all that money and they're going to coach you along and they're going to tell you, yeah, do it. But no one ever sits there and is going to coach you back over the next 5 years when it's time for you to pay it back. And they don't talk to you about that 50,000 that you borrowed is now really going to wind up being 70,000 by the time you pay it back. To me, that's just irresponsible. We know this. Like these are things that we just know, right? But we're not sharing that with the people that we're selling this dream with. And that's just wrong. It's damn near predatory, you ask me, right? I know that if you borrow any amount of money, you better have not only one plan to pay it back, but at least 3 plans to pay it back, right? That's the start. Okay, so you started your LLC. You've got a great idea. You don't necessarily have the funding off the top to get your business accelerated or started or grow to the next level, whatever. You need credit. That's fine. But you also need to have the responsibility once you take the credit is to sit there and go, what's my plan A to give it back? right? In a year, 12 months, whatever your schedule is to yourself. What's my plan B if that doesn't work? What's my plan C? Is there a way to hybrid all the plans together if none of them really work, but some of them work a little bit? That's your responsibility before you get the money. It's not just a matter, can you get it? Anybody can do anything. Should you do it? Right? What are you doing it for? These are the conversations that I really feel are missing in our space, in our whole ecosystem. And as black and brown investors, I just don't see how we can skip that. Like, these are things that have been proven to destroy our communities, y'all. I'm not making this shit up. The predatory sub-mortgage crisis that happened in the early 2000s was targeted towards the black and brown community. It's a fact. Look it up, right? When we just had this last one that happened in '08, the great financial crisis, with all the reverse mortgages and all the predatory shit that was going on, that happened. So every time there's a credit crunch, a financial crisis, anything of that nature in this country, black and brown people in general are targeted and affected more than anyone else. So I just don't understand, in times when things are good, why we're not talking about bolstering and protecting ourselves from when the lean times come. That's just a fact of life. Lean times are going to come. It's in the Bible, y'all. Right? So we need to prepare for that. So my next thing that I want to talk about is this idea of just get the money and we'll figure it out later, right? Well, we've already said that doesn't work, because the figure it out later is going to ruin whatever growth potential you have for later. If it's a matter of borrowing money and taking 5 years, 7 years, whatever, 2 years to pay it back, you really need to look at yourself in the mirror and say, can I just take that time and save it up? Can I just take that time and maybe use the 5,000, get it to 10,000? Maybe use the 2,000 and get it to 5,000 and continue that cycle for a couple years, right? That's also a possibility. Don't let people trick you out of your own potential and momentum and being able to move with it. You understand? That's my whole point. The next thing I want everyone to start doing is, I think it's valid that we start asking people questions that get us money, or say they can get us money, right? So when someone goes, oh, I can get you 50,000, whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop, I want you to ask them now another question, right? I want you to sit there and go to them, hey, since you're the one that can get me this 50,000, this 100,000, whatever it is, please tell me, what is it that I need to do to see how you've put that into place, right? How did you make that happen? I need to know. I just really got to know. Because if you're telling me you can do it for me, then what did you do when you did it for yourself? Have you done it for yourself? When you got the 50,000, what business did you build, right? What real estate did you purchase? What real assets, hard assets did you purchase? Or did you borrow the money and then put a down payment on something else, which means you have more debt now? Right? That's a valid question to ask somebody that's telling you they can get you money. Ask them, have they done it, and what did they do with the money that they got? Ask for real proof. If you're going to give someone your social and give them all your trust and all this other stuff, you're allowed to ask them questions back, right? Am I saying something fucking crazy here? I don't think so. Ask them straight up. Okay, whatever amount of money you say you can give me, did you do it for yourself? One. And if so, what did you do with that money? And I need proof. Start there. See how many of them fall off the bridge there. Then the next thing I want you to ask them is straight up and down. If you do own any assets, I want to see your business P&L, right? I don't need to see all the nitty gritty, but I need to see what assets you own and what liabilities you have. Because if someone is sitting there telling you that they're going to be able to access you money, now think about this, guys. Really, no, I'm serious now. If someone says they're going to be able to access you money, that's your motherfucking partner. That's your partner. Y'all are damn near married, you ask me. Because a lot of you motherfuckers are sleeping next to somebody right now that you couldn't get you $5,000. But yet some stranger, alleged stranger, is telling you they can get you 50, and you ain't asking all these goddamn questions. The person that you sleep next to, you know this motherfucker's credit score. You know what time they use the bathroom. You know everything about them. But this person, just because they got a nice smile and all the accoutrements if you will, of success, you don't ask them shit. You just want to see the money hit your account. I don't know. Ask them what their investment strategy was when they did it for themselves. Then ask them what is their debt to income ratio for their business, right? Because they're sitting here telling you to open up the LLC and how to do the 3-card Monty and all this other bullshit. Ask them what money they owe and what assets they have. Very fucking simple. I know it sounds crazy, right? I know I look crazy. I got on pink shorts. I don't give a fuck. I'm telling you the goddamn truth. Okay? That's the truth. If their answer ain't one of somebody that you want to emulate their strategy, you probably shouldn't fuck with them. Yeah, I said it, goddammit. I don't give a fuck how much money they bring to the table. Someone could bring $1 million to the table, and a year from now, you won't be able to call them, won't be able to get help from them. If something goes wrong, they don't know you. But guess what? The motherfucker they sold your debt to, oh, they know where you at. They coming to get that money. Don't do that. Don't do that. If somebody is able to get you 50,000, 100,000, 20,000, they should also be able to tell you how to implement it, what to do with it, how to protect it, put you in the right spot. Hey, you might want to talk to your accountant. Hey, you might want to talk. You got a lawyer? They should have you on the right path before they get you the money. That's somebody that's in it with you. Because what they're not telling you is whatever amount of money they get you, they're able to get a commission off of it. They get what's called points off of it. Right? And depending on how big your loan is, 1 point could be 1,000, could be 10,000, could be $100,000. A point. Do you understand? They're doing this for the money. They're not doing this because they want to see the community building up and getting all this good infrastructure. They could give a fuck what you do with it. And that's a problem. When no one's asking you for a business plan, what are you going to do with this money? I want to know. My private investors, my private lenders, whatever, want to know, are you doing something positive for the community? Are you going to take this money and fuck it off? Now we're going to go ahead and get you out the investment game for the rest of your life. Right? But we going to write off this debt. It don't matter to me. I'm telling you right now. I'm a corporation. I've done it before. I've held mortgages for people. Literally. I've been to the bank multiple times. And it don't matter to me whether you pay or not. If you don't pay, I'm taking back the house and I get to write off the debt that you fucked me on. That's the nature of the business. That's why they treat you like that. They don't care what you do with the money. They really don't. And that's wrong. But that should be a goddamn red flag for your ass. If somebody's willing to give you the money but don't want to hold your hand, don't want to be a part of your growth, that's a red flag. They are sending you out into a pool of sharks and they know you a minnow. So my grandfather said. That's fucked up. But anyways, so now that you've asked them all these questions and you've figured out their ins and outs, now you know, have they done it? Now you know, do I want to emulate your strategy? Do I feel comfortable with that? Is that where I want to go? Right? And now you can move forward. But remember, just like steroids and any other drug, that shit feels good as a motherfucker. But it's fake. You can't live off steroids. That's not your real strength. That's not your real walk around weight. That's what you do to get to the next benchmark, to the next weight class. Then you're supposed to cycle off. That's another part they don't tell you. Okay, hey, once you hit this dope, once I hook you up with this credit dope, that's it. You can't hit no more dope till you pay this off. They don't tell you that. Don't nobody come to you and be like, hey, man, you done, right? They just let you drown. They just let you make payments on it and do interest only and refinance. That's the best thing. Oh, just refinance. I got something for you on that motherfucking one. The refinance game? Oh, that refinance game. Listen, pull up the National Bankers Report that just got released in March. 75% of small and regional bank managers have reported that the credit standards have tightened at their bank. You hear that? That means refinance. They're not obligated to refinance for your ass. That's the part I don't like. People talk about it like they obligated to refinance. Like the bank got to refinance you. Why the fuck would they refinance you? If they're losing money, which we know they are, refer back to the episodes, right? That the banks are dropping like cash on the floor. And don't piss on me and say it's rain, where I talked about in real time the banking collapse. And I talked about in real time how they said it was just one. Oh, it's not a contagion. Then it was two. Then over 4 days, the shit wound up being all the way over in Europe. Banks collapsed, this, that, and the third. Come on, guys. But it's not a crisis. It's not a bailout. I got you. Right, I know. But this is exactly why we have to sit here and keep it objective, real, right? And honest. We got to do it. And raw. I'm going to be raw about the shit. I don't have to sit here and play the popularity contest. I've never been prom king. Never. Smashed a couple prom queens, but I've never been prom king. Just the truth. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. But what we're not going to do is sit here and pretend that as black and brown investors, we do not have a special set of cautionary tales, history, and potholes that will arise for us. We can't. We can't afford to do that. I mean, how many hundreds of years do we need of fucking proof? I'm the bad guy because I want to say something? No. What, I don't look like I have the message? You want me to wear a fucking collared shirt or some shit so you guys can listen to me? I'm not doing it. Okay? I'm not fucking doing it. I just had a conversation with our marketing team. Shout out, Dada. You know I love you. But some of the things that I had to go ahead and say no to because of the way the landscape is right now is just the problem. I like the podcast cover art. What about you? Thousands of people. Y'all like it too, goddammit. I know you do. We all in this together. My 16-year-old daughter said, Daddy, the podcast art is cool. Look like a album. That's the point. It could be related to everybody. But when you scroll through the category of finances and investment, I don't look like everybody else. My cover don't look like everybody else. The content's not like everybody else. That's okay. I'm not here for that. But what I am here for is you're not going to be able to argue certain mathematical principles, right? Strategy is strategy. Everyone's going to have a different investment strategy. That's fine. But what we can't do is have a different math. Okay? That's where I have the problem. The math is the math, homie. At the end of the day, what we're saying we're trying to do is build generational wealth. But I'm starting to realize through this first season that that's like a hot button thing, right? That's like BLM a few summers ago. Yeah, I said it. Now, I'll never see that fucking hashtag. So what I'm trying to make sure and do is that we're still talking about financial wealth building in 5 years, right? It's not just a catchphrase. It's not just cool for everybody to talk about. We're not doing that. Now, the crypto thing. Oh, I'm going to get to this because this has been bothering the fuck out of me. Let me explain something to you guys. Okay? I'm far from stupid. Far from it. I don't give a fuck what you think I look like. I don't care about none of that. I'm not stupid. And every single day, I have someone in my DMs telling me they have a way to trade crypto. Do I know how to make money at home? Do I need extra money? Listen here. Listen. Stop your bullshit. Stop assuming that everyone needs extra money. That's not the answer to the world. Okay? And I'm a money guy. I like money. Love it. But I don't covet it. And I don't recommend it for everybody. It's like smoking good weed. It's not for everybody. It's just not. And we're not going to pretend that it is. Okay? So stop with that. Number one, get out my fucking DMs and everybody else with the whole, do you need some extra money? The people that need extra money are out here making it happen, grinding. They're not in their DMs looking for you to bring it to them. Let's keep it real. Okay? Number two with this crypto shit. I need you guys to start researching some things because, like I said, I watch the market, including the crypto space. Check out the Blackwall note every week. Send your emails to blackwallpodcast@gmail.com, and you can get on the email link for the note and then join our Patreon, and you can get the newsletter. So that's a whole nother conversation. But here where I am with this. So I watch the markets. And what I need you guys to start understanding is there's something called market volume, right? So every day in the equities market, there's trillions of dollars being traded, right? every day globally, every day in the commodities market globally, there's trillions of dollars being traded, right? So if you dump 3 billion, 4 billion into a market, 10 billion, 100 billion into a market that's trillions of dollars, you're not going to move it that much. It's not going to do that, okay? But what we do need to understand is that the crypto space is at hundreds of billions of dollars trading volume a day. Anywhere from, call it 700 billion to 900 billion at this point. And sometimes it's dropped down even lower to like 500, 600 billion dollar trading volume in a day. So a lot of these hedge funds, institutional investors, banks, shadow banks, when they're taking these fucking losses, they're really taking losses, y'all, right? And the way that they have to hedge on their losses on their books, right? Because they have to hold a certain amount of treasuries in order to be able to operate as the bank. So according to the law, the amount, and I believe it's the Dodd-Frank Act, but don't quote me on that one. I'm not here for that. I don't have my computer in front of me. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. But what it is that there's a certain amount of treasuries that your bank needs to hold according to the deposits, right? So once these treasuries became worth less money because interest rates went higher, then therefore you had to be in a situation where you had to start selling some of your treasuries to gain more liquid capital for your bank. This was essentially the overview of this banking collapse, right? So with that, a lot of these hedge funds and banks are dumping in billions of dollars into the crypto markets to inflate them, create gains, right, to offset their losses. They're hedging. So you as a mom and pop investor is what they call us, right? You take your 50,000, your 100,000, your whatever, and you dump it into the crypto space. You might see gains for a month, 2 months, but over the quarter, you will sustain losses. Over the year, you would have sustained losses because the institutions are the ones that are taking their money out once they offset their losses. It's you're playing at a casino table with people that have high limits, and then you're playing at with the same table has people with $5 hands. You're never going to be able to move the table the same way. Shout out Tony G. I love you, baby. You know what I'm saying? You're just not even going to be able to move the table the same way. A lot of this, you'll be able to get bluffed out of the pot. Just like he's talking about being online playing poker with bots. It's just not a fair playing field. You're trading in crypto markets against bots. That's a whole fact. And I'm telling you as someone who has a startup tech company, shout out 40 Acre Tech, you can't compete against strategic searches and optimizations and targeted advertising and AI. You can't compete against it. I'm telling you what I know. There are people that live, eat, sleep, breathe this shit. So if you think you're going to get on there and get my DMs and your little software, and then once again, you're going to take your commission, because that's what they always say, oh, it's just a one-time fee or whatever. You're going to take your little one-time and run. And then now I'm up against bots, institutional investors, fucking supercomputers, all types of shit. That's not investing. That's gambling. I want everyone to understand the difference between investing, speculation, and gambling. Speculation is when I say, hey, I think there's an area or an opportunity where I see growth in the next set amount of time. I'm willing to invest and stay in there for that set amount of time for this return to happen. That's speculation. Investing is, I'm going to buy this. I'm going to improve it. I'm going to hold it. I'm going to continue to improve it. And I'm going to make sure everything around it is improved as well to draw up my value. That is investing. I'm invested. Do you understand? There is a process to that. There are bumps and bruises that happen in that. Everybody wants to talk about the beginning and the end. Get the money and then drive the Lamborghini. Investment is in the middle. You understand? Scamming is those two polar opposites. Get the money, get the Lamborghini. That's scamming. That's a fucking scheme. Investment is in the middle. Do you understand? That's what I'm talking about. Speculation, people who speculate, they do all types of research. They do all types. Their work is in the beginning before they even put $1 down. They've researched for hours, days, months, years to be able to speculate on something, right? They've amassed a certain amount of expertise in an area to be able to speculate. That's what I need everyone to understand. There's a difference. So when you're running around saying you're a trader, you're a this, you're a that, come on, man. Just call it what it is, bro. You're a fucking scammer. Just, I don't understand. When I was a drug dealer, I said I was a drug dealer. Whether people wanted to hear it, not want to hear it, like it, don't like it, have the fucking technical term, I don't give a flying fuck. I'm doing something. I'm selling it for cash that could get me locked up. Hence, drug dealer. If you are selling programs, ideas, things that are not proven, they're not real strategies, right? They're just you talking. They're you telling people what to do. They're you saying you have an algorithm to make me guaranteed money. One of these people told me, I have a program. This one really put the thunderbolt up my ass. I have a program that is guaranteed to make you returns. Yeah, guaranteed. He said guaranteed. I damn near choked. I said, you are out of your fucking mind. Not only, I'm pretty sure that's illegal because you're not registered with the SEC to guarantee any form of returns, right? So let's just go ahead and get that out the fucking box. Anyone says they can guarantee a return, once again, that's scamming. And I told him in the DM straight up. I don't remember his name, don't really care. But the moral of the story is I said this. No such thing as guaranteed returns in investing. No such thing. Just, it's not even a thing. The minute you say it, you're a fucking liar. I don't trust you. I don't want to do no business with you. You said guaranteed returns in investing. That makes you a liar. We all know that. Okay? That's crazy talk. Then he said, oh, no, you're right. My algorithm and my program has 0.03% failure rate. Okay, so it's not guaranteed. Okay. But you said it's guaranteed, but now I get to the nitty gritty. But who wrote the algorithm? How do I know it's going to benefit me forever? How do I know that the algorithm is written to benefit me for 7 days, 12 days, 14 days, and then all of a sudden it's made to dump everybody's cash? I don't know. And you can't tell me otherwise. Why? Because we just saw crypto drop from 60,000 to 20,000 in a matter of months. And it's never even jumped back up to 30,000 sustainably. That means that it's never even regained half the value. That's not investing, guys. I'm sorry. It's just not. That's not it. You can't go against investment institutions, bots, algorithms, and all types of other shadow banking instruments and then tell me it's investing. No. Sorry. Okay? So now we've covered those areas that I've noticed are like the new age scam traps. Leave them alone. Don't even waste your time. It's going to ruin your real investment career. A real investment career, guys, is in 5-year blocks. That's a fact. Your first 5 years are going to suck. You don't know what the fuck you're doing. You're going to bump around a little bit. You're going to lose money a little bit. I was just having a conversation with a great friend of mine. And she said, shout out CEO Fierce. She said, part of this is that most people haven't lost the amount of money you've lost at once, right? And it's not because I'm a bad businessman. It's just because when you get in the game of real money and you put your money up, there's going to be times when you make a mistake, you lose money. I've talked about it in one of my earlier episodes. I lost 30,000 on one deal once. 30 racks. Shit hurt my heart. I was pissed off for a whole year. Trust me, I really was. But that same 30 I lost, not only have I made it back multiple times over, but that lesson I learned was valuable. That is when I learned about credit being steroids. My ass got steroid happy. I was unit chasing. I think I might already had 4 or 5 properties at that point, but I wanted a building. I wanted a multifamily. I was listening to all these fucking podcasts and everybody was just talking about multifamily. And I wasn't satisfied with the 4 or 5. I can't remember exactly the number I had at the time. And I just wanted to take the steroids, get from 4 to 8, buy a 4 unit, right? It's simple. Boom. I wasn't even as handy as I am now. I hadn't done a full renovation yet. I had barely renovated my food truck. But here it is. Everybody's telling me I need to do multifamily. I got all these fucking houses. I guess that's what I'm supposed to do. But that wasn't me. That's not how I get down. I like to touch the stuff. I like to breathe life into it. I like to watch it be rented. I like to watch it make money. I like to get that monthly profit. I like it to be free and clear. I like it to be able to fund my next vision. I like to go broke again. And then I like to let all my other companies and everything start filling up the pot again. And I can do another investment. That's how I like to do it. I'm not saying there's other wrong things, but if your company and your business structure and your portfolio is built off of injecting steroids consistently and living off of the steroid of credit, you got a problem. Because credit cycles are real. Credit crunches are real. Look it up, guys. Or just send me an email, your email address, and I'll put you on the link for the note, right? But either way, it's not going to change the goddamn facts in history. Whether I tell them to you, you research them yourself, they're going to be there. And especially for the black and brown investor, the dangers of going into the open financial and credit market and thinking that it's fair. It's far from it. It is actually extremely biased and extremely predatory towards our people. So we have to use it as such. Be very careful with it. Same thing with any types of new age speculation markets, whether it be currencies of any type. We have to be careful. These things are being manipulated on such a grander scale and schedule. We have to understand that, right? So when it comes back to what this episode is about, is that middle piece. Let's just really hone it in. After we get our LLC and after we come up with our business idea, the next step is not get as much money as possible. Because that's how they tried to teach me. That's how I was taught in a business class I took. Just get as much money as possible. No. I need you to do as much research as possible. I need you to do as much market research as possible. Have you checked out 5 of your competitors, right? Have you really researched zip code by zip code what you're trying to do? How many of those exist? Is this the best place for you to do it? Are we going to go brick and mortar, or are we going to go online only, right? Are we going to outsource some of this? Are we doing everything ourselves? What are some of the benefits of this state that I live in? Do I need to register my business in another state because of taxes? There's so much that goes into it before you even need to invest $1 past starting the vision and getting your legal entity locked in, right? Because all this other stuff is free. The Instagram, that you can rock off of free social media before you got money to do a website, right? But the thing is you have to be ready to make that transition. And it's not about how much money you start with, guys. Because the money you're starting with, if it's not just the cash that you have, especially, it's going to come with a payback cost. Think about that, please. We need to be more diligent as investors and also as stewards of the investment space. Everybody is not meant to borrow money. Everybody is not meant to have a bunch of money to accelerate their business. Some people need to start working and understanding a couple of $1,000s at a time, right? Not 50,000 and get a building and a payroll into this. And they ain't never done nothing. You ain't never done nothing. Don't do that to yourself. Be honest with yourself as an investor on what you're doing and what your needs are, and separate your needs from your wants, especially personally. Your personal wants and desires are not the same as your business needs, right? So once again, I want to thank everyone for tapping in, supporting the Black Wall. It's been a whole thing, man. Season 1 is the truth. Season 2 is coming. Get down and lay down. We're picking out cover art. We're getting everything situated. Please, guys, check us out. Hope you've downloaded the Patreon already. If not, please do that. Follow us, BLKWall_podcast, blackwallpodcast.com, Saucier Spices. You know what all of that stuff is all about. Check out our apps. Everything's going to be in the description. Love y'all. Thank you.